Okay, so I want to thank everybody for coming here. This is the presentation for the proposed system redesign for the city of Oswego. We have really not redesigned our service here at Oswego in decades, and this is a long time coming. Travel patterns have changed, the needs of the community have changed, and what we're trying to do is make a system that we think works best for the community members that we're serving, and one that is easy to understand, easy to use, and we think that will promote ridership within our city. Look at that, all right. So the goals of the system redesign, as I said, we want to simplify the routing. We currently have 4 different routes that run on, 6 routes that run on east and west of the city. It's confusing. Those current routes don't run at a very regular pace. And unless you have a schedule and understand a schedule, it can be very difficult to understand our service and our system. So we're trying to decrease the complexity of the service area, make it easier for people to understand, make it more intuitive, so they can understand the system a little better. So we're simplifying the routing. By simplifying the routing and condensing the routes into basically 3 routes, we'll be able to increase the frequency on those routes without having to increase resources. So we want to increase frequency on those routes. And again, everything is really designed to make this as a more user-friendly service for, especially for people who may be new to the community, may not understand how our system has worked for years. We have all these meetings. We've done a lot of public outreach. It's been very consistent and very. It's been over a long period of time. We began having meetings. I'm going to say almost a year ago. The first round of meetings that we had with students. We've done some outreach on the SUNY Oswego campus. The student population, whether it be on campus or off campus, comprises about 65% of our ridership. We were at Towpath Towers in Fulton. We went to Common Center here in the city of Oswego and talked to individuals who were using the system. And in the course of having these conversations, we obviously had a concept that we had in our mind about what we thought the system should look like. As a result of some of those conversations, we've made some revisions. Particularly in Oswego, we looked at one of the western sections of our service area and made sure it connected to the campuses. We really got some significant feedback from individuals regarding that. And we were back at SUNY Oswego and Fulton Mills in Oswego back earlier this fall in September. This is the current Oswego system map, our services. As I said, there's a lot of bus routes. It can be confusing. They don't run at a regular pace. Some of these run only a handful of times during the course of the day, so it's not really very user-friendly. If you want to use a bus route and you have a 10 o'clock appointment, the bus only comes at 8 and comes at 11, it really doesn't do you much good if there's not much frequency for what you want to use. So what we've done is we've taken this system, and voila, we have turned it into this, where it's much simplified. Basically, there's a Bridge Street service that will run from the SUNY Oswego Campus Center to what will be our new Common Center on Cayuga and 3rd Street, East 3rd Street, and continue on to Walmart and an area all along here where there's popular destinations particularly for students, but for the general public as well. In addition, so this service will operate about 20 minutes out, 20 minutes back for about a 45-minute frequency. At the same time, we'll have another bus that will be traveling this route here and back, and then traveling this route here and back to make connections at both Common Center and at Walmart and at the campus center. So the service kind of all interconnects. There's a good opportunity for transfers. It runs in a very understandable, simple format. The service here will operate every 90 minutes here, but between the two of them, it's a 45-minute frequency. And then one bus travels up and down Bridge Street for, again, about a 45-minute frequency. It increases the frequency of the service and makes it intuitive to the user to know that that's kind of how the system works. They can understand the entirety of the system really in their mind rather than having to have a map. There are some, there are some areas that we're no longer going to serve. That is just, part of the system redesign. This area here, we will have some help from Oswego County Opportunities to have an on-demand service, so that if there are individuals here who cannot walk to this area and need a ride, they can call OCO. And also, we also have our central call bus service, which will still cover the entirety of the city of Oswego as we currently cover it. So nobody who currently has call bus service will lose it. Everyone will retain call bus eligibility. So we're still going to cover the same areas. We take a lot of individuals with disabilities within the city of Oswego. We also bring a lot of those individuals to the city of Syracuse, and points in between. We'll be able to continue to do that. It's just reallocating our existing resources. Again, just the overview. It's a consolidating 7 routes down to 3 routes with regular service at regular intervals. We're relocating our downtown transfer point from Bridge Street to East 3rd and East Cayuga. It's just a safer area. It's not along a busy street. Our buses can kind of clutter Main Street sometimes. We'd like to get off the main street to have these connections where people can transfer between buses. We think it's safer and easier for us from an operational standpoint as well. Oswego County Public Transit is available in areas where our service is discontinued. Again, we want to talk about our call bus still being eligible for, still being around for all individuals who use that service. It's basically a 45-minute frequency on our, what will be the Oswego 17 Bridge Street and SUNY Oswego and Walmart. And as I said, 90-minute frequency on the Sunrise West and the Oswego 19 Brandonwood East loops that will operate as well. Again, they will all connect in a couple of points. This is the existing timetable, so not only do we give you the concepts, this will be the actual schedule that we've rolled out to the public. If you can, it's easier to understand. It's at SUNY, it's at our downtown route, it's at Walmart. Can't get much simpler than that. You estimate the stops in between where you would arrive and where you pick up buses. It's much simpler and cleaner from a user perspective. It's just, oh, okay, that's pretty easy. And I think the next page has the different ones here for the westbound and the eastbound routes that go to Walmart and they go to SUNY from the what we call the eyeglasses on the service. There is some limited service on Sundays. It's the same as we currently operate. It's very brief, but it does operate from SUNY to Walmart. And this service does continue on to Syracuse. I believe that's the service that we run. So it's also the same commuter route that we currently operate. So that really doesn't change at all. This is Fulton. I'm not going to go into too much detail. This is the current Fulton system map. We are changing it to run a little more frequent service in the city of Fulton as well. We've really reduced the service that we used to provide to Cayuga Community College. Their enrollment and their needs have changed over the course of the last 15 years or so. Still continuing service throughout to Walmart. Again, it's a simpler system. It's more direct, would increase frequency, and we'll also continue our service that connects people from Fulton and from Oswego to DSS in Mexico. That will not change. No rollout service, as I said before, to the city of Syracuse. So it all kind of works and pulls it together. Again, the city of Fulton changes, streamline, more direct service to popular destinations. We've discontinued our service to areas that have less than a person boarding per day. And Oswego County Public Transit, again, will help us fill in those gaps where we will no longer serve. Service at Cayuga Community College will still continue to be available on the Mexico Loop service and the Oswego service. We found that most of the riders that use the service now use those buses anyway. We'll have 80-minute frequency across the city, and we'll have one-seat rides without need for a transfer from the east side to the west side of the city. One thing that's really important for us to kind of talk about is we have really good communication and working relationship with OCO. We're trying to make sure that we're not duplicating our services, making sure that the areas we're serving are not being served by OCO and vice versa, so we can stretch the transportation dollar within the county as far as we can. So that's really an important part of what we're trying to do as well. And again, this is the proposed timetable for the city of Fulton. It's a simpler route, it's simpler, fewer stops, simpler concept to read, very basic, very kind of uniform, and the frequency again is increased over what we currently serve. I can't remember what the percentage is, but it's a significant increase in the frequency that we currently operate. And that's really it. The next steps here, we're going to continue to accept all public comments through November 28th. Then in December, it goes to our board for approval and for if there's any changes that we propose. I don't know if there's going to be any change to what we're proposing unless there's some significant public comment which hasn't occurred yet. And then these would go into effect January 26, 2026. That coincides with our physical what happens every couple times a year is our drivers then repick their routes of what they're going to drive. It's called a sign up. Our sign up goes to the next one goes into effect on January 26th. It also coincides with the spring semester for SUNY Oswego, so that kind of all goes together. And at the same time, we really like this concept of having these SUNY Oswego students on campus and in a full academic year when we make the change. We think it's easier for them to understand going from fall to spring rather than them leaving in May, going away for 3 months in summer and then coming back and oh, everything's changed and I don't get it. So we thought this would be an easier way for them to absorb the changes. It may be tough in the beginning, but I think over time it'll be a quicker transition. So I guess with that, I will open this public hearing officially for public comment at 5:21 p.m. on November 18, 2025. If there are any questions, if there are any comments regarding what we have proposed, we are all ears to listen to those comments. This is not a time period for us, however, to answer questions. So if there are, even though it says questions here, if there are any comments, the floor is now yours.
I have a question.
Sure.
Are there no buses running in Fulton on a Sunday?
There are not buses running on Fulton on Sunday.
That's what I catched when I was looking at the schedule up there, that the city of Oswego has a Sunday bus route, limited.
It goes to Fulton now.
It goes to Fulton.
It goes to Fulton. So you can get from Oswego to Fulton on a Sunday.
But there is no route to the city of Fulton itself. Okay.
Correct. Same thing with the city of Oswego. There is limited, there's 3 trips.
Right.
But that route is really a bus that leaves our garage, goes through the city of Oswego on its way to Syracuse and back.
Oh, okay. So there is really no service.
Correct.
Per se.
It's limited, yes.
Got it.
Any other comments with that? Oh, sure.
How do you plan on, I know you already know with some of the students at SUNY Oswego about these proposed changes, but how do you plan on advertising the changes to them once they go into effect?
Well, we have a good working relationship with SUNY Oswego. So what we'll do is we'll contact auxiliary services and we'll make sure that we get information out to them directly through the school, through their normal communication systems, which they're used to getting information. That's usually the best way for us to reach them. We'll also have it on social media. We're probably going to be, when we put the changes into effect, I'm going to guess we're going to be on site a little bit until people get used to what's going on. All right. With that, at 5:24, I'm going to close the public hearing for the Better Bus Oswego. And thank you all for coming.